Leftovers either save you time or they waste your time. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you 5 tips that are going to help you save time with leftovers. And here's a hint, none of them are going to involve making a list of everything that's in your fridge that you really should be eating. Tip number 1 is making things that you're actually going to like as leftovers. Last week, I made this salad that had all of these delicious fruits and vegetables in it. But the biggest bummer by far was the fact that the fruits just got really soggy, for lack of a better word, and lost their form after a while, and it made terrible leftovers. We have to make things that are really going to taste just as good, if not better, as leftovers. My favorite go-tos for things like that are going to be like a crock pot meal, any kind of stew, soup. Chilies are amazing, especially for fall and winter. And then anything that's not going to work is going to be like salads, any kind of meat that starts to not taste as well with time, especially if it's not cooked in a sauce or anything like that. It's going to get dry and you're going to see it in the fridge and not want to eat it anyway because it's not going to taste as good as if you just run out and get some takeout or eat something else that isn't necessarily going to go bad as soon. I'll link my recipe to my chili down below in case you're interested in that. Definitely the best chili I've made by far. I do prefer a little bit spicier things. If you don't like spicy foods as much, I would say just leave out some of the peppers that I recommend to put in and maybe summon bell peppers instead. If you want to put in one jalapeno or something like that to give it a little bit of kick, but not too much, you can. Also, if you want to give it some more kick, sometimes I put habaneros in it, and that has been really good. And as time goes on, it just develops that flavor even more. And I look forward to eating that chili for lunch multiple days throughout the week. Tip number 2 is to portion your leftovers out. I used to make this mistake all the time. I would put a big batch of leftovers in one singular container that was large enough. And for us, it's just 2 people. And so it never made sense. I couldn't take that whole container to work with me to have for lunches. And so what would end up happening is inevitably I would run out of time in the mornings and not have time to portion it out for my workday and take it in for lunch. And it just became easier to grab something on the go and ultimately spend more money on lunches, even when I had food that was perfectly good in the fridge. So they make little containers that are like a single serving size. We had some that are actually glass and have little separators. You can separate out different parts of the meal that you're eating so they don't all just get mixed together. And those have proved to be really useful, especially if we are taking something on the go. But also, just if we're eating at home and we're having leftovers for dinner, it's just so much easier if we want to eat something different. If my husband wants to eat one leftover and I want to eat another, we can each enjoy those because everything is portioned out to, for us, a single serving. But do whatever's best for you. If you have a family, maybe you want to portion it out into 4 servings or 5 servings or whatever the case may be. But really just make sure that those serving sizes match the number of servings that you're going to eat when you go to pull out some leftovers. Another tip along with that is if you are someone who likes to store food in the freezer, definitely portion it out that way as well. So if you have extra soup, don't put it in a gallon Ziploc that's in the freezer if you're not going to be eating that whole gallon of soup in one sitting. They have freezer quart bags that work really well for this if that's something you want to do. Tip number 3 is to date them. Now, this is my favorite tip because it's one I've found recently and has definitely helped us save so much food and waste so much less. The way that we do this is on our containers directly. We put the date that we believe that it's going to expire on the side of the container. So we just use a dry erase marker and write it on the side. That way you can see it plain right there. And then if you don't know how long something is good for, I would say a good rule of thumb is maybe 3 to 4 days. But what happens when you have that date directly on there is amazing. You open the fridge and you see the dates of each thing, you know exactly what is going to expire the soonest. And so you're able to quickly prioritize what you're going to eat first. And this is huge. What I used to do was look in the fridge. I'd see all the different things that we had to eat. I would look at leftovers and I would be like, did I make that on Tuesday? If I made it on Tuesday, it's probably still good. Oh no, maybe I made that on Monday. If it's on a Monday, I don't think it's good anymore. And after having that kind of brain process where I'm trying to think through, when did I make this? How many days is it good for? I started to just shut the leftovers out. They weren't an option because I was worried that they were bad. And understandably, I didn't want to make myself sick by eating something that had already expired. So by putting the date on there, you can have confidence on what meals are available to you and which ones have already gone bad. And I know that 3 or 4 days to eat leftovers may not seem like a long time, but I will tell you, once we added the dates on there, I don't think it ever has passed the date that I've written on there because I already feel this confidence to eat it. And so I'm constantly eating leftovers before I'm just going to cook again or going to eat something else that isn't going to go bad as soon because I have this due date in my mind and I know that that has to be eaten. And I'm at least acknowledging that if I don't eat this today and it has the date today, then I'm wasting that versus before where I didn't realize I was wasting it. It was just sitting there. But now I have the conscious decision to be able to say, yes, I want to eat those leftovers and I don't want them to go bad. Or I would prefer to eat out today. And so I'm going to go ahead and let those leftovers go. And you have that conscious decision that you can make that you feel good about, knowing that you've decided to let them go. And it's not just that you feel irresponsible and they went bad and you should have known better. And then you're throwing all this stuff in the garbage can. The other thing I really like about the dry erase markers is that you can wipe them off really easily. Usually I wipe the date off before I pop anything in the microwave just to make sure it doesn't get stuck on there. It comes off really easily whenever you wash dishes. So you can throw it in the dishwasher or whatever and it'll work well. Definitely works better on glass Tupperware, but I think it would work well on plastic too. I think I'd use it on a couple of our plastic Tupperware, but mainly I use it on our glass ones. So super easy, huge help there. So definitely try it out. Tip number 4, prioritize your space. The easiest spot that you're going to see in your fridge is that part that is at eye level and is in the front of your fridge. Now, I know maybe you're someone who knows that leftovers may get shuffled to the back and you're going to look for them, but you also have to keep in mind other members of your household. Are they going to know to look back there, or are they going to end up eating other things that are more visible that may not expire as quickly or get takeout? So that right there, that front section is going to be your number one place to keep leftovers. Anything else, if you're looking for it, if you're looking for dressing, if you're looking for mayonnaise, you're going to be able to go and kind of look for it as you need to. But with leftovers, out of sight, out of mind. So make sure that those are at the front. I would even say to organize it by date if you can. So the ones that are expiring first, which you'll know because you'll write your little dates on the front of your Tupperware, the ones that are expiring soonest, put those in the front. And then the ones that are expiring later, put them behind. Just like how a store would do, they're going to put anything that expires sooner closer to the front. Those milk jugs, they're going to put those that expire in the next week ahead of those that expire next month. So do the same with your fridge. It works. It helps the inventory go through well, and ultimately you are going to waste less. Number 5 is when you see something that is bad, throw it out now. Don't wait. I know I have been so bad about this in the past, but we don't want food to just sit there and rot even further. It's Just disgusting, honestly. I've always found it really gross when you open up a container. It smells bad. You don't even remember what it is. It doesn't even look like the original thing that you put in the fridge. Just throw it out now. It's going to make your life so much easier if you know exactly what's in your fridge and you don't have leftovers in there that you're unsure about if it's even safe to eat or if it should have gone months ago. If you wait until later, it's going to be more gross. It may make a mess in your fridge. It may leak. It may spill all over other things that are actually still good. So toss it as soon as you see it. This is going to help so much to make everything more streamlined. I hope these tips help you make the most of your leftovers. I know that we all spend a lot of time meal prepping and cooking to make the most of what we're eating and making sure that we're eating healthy. So I want that for you. I want you to be able to enjoy the meals that you've made, to make health a priority in your life and eat those leftovers of things that you've made. So remember those 5 tips. Number 1, make leftovers you'll actually enjoy. Number 2, portion them out depending on how much you're going to be eating whenever you go to make leftovers. Number 3, date them. Use a dry erase marker. Trust me, you won't regret it. It will help so much. Number 4, prioritize your fridge space for leftovers. Front and center, eye level is going to be best. And number 5, throw those bad leftovers in the garbage can right away. Do not wait. Well, I hope these tips have been helpful to you. If they are, definitely leave a comment below on any other leftover tips that you might have and subscribe to follow for more videos to help you live simply. My ultimate goal here is to help you have less and experience more. If you liked this video, definitely check out my other video on my journey to becoming a minimalist. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Savannah, and I hope to see you again next time.